Welcome to What's Up, Bruh, the podcast. I'm your host, Roxy. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited because this is the first episode for the season. I get a clap or woot woot. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've finally jumped in the pool of podcasting and I'm excited to have conversations with friends and acquaintances who are all my special guests. And I'm excited that I'm able to share my voice, opinions, perceptions, and topics of interest from a millennial's perspective. And today, I have with me a very special guest. Her name is Sueann Brown. And I'm going to read to you guys what Sueann actually sent to me as her background / profile. So Sueann says, her name is Sueann Brown. She's a Christian by birth, Jamaican immigrant travel nurse, taught girl who lives, over 30 something and happy, interested only in that 90s R&B kind of love. My God, that intro is something else. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you the informal intro that I have for Sueann, right? So Sueann, she and I went to high school together. And we went to an all-girls Catholic high school. And I don't know if, so did we have any classes together? I'm not even sure if we did.
I don't think so because our last names never crossed.
True.
Remember, we did last names. So
we did last
didn't cross. And then I think we went into different classes in fourth form because you had to go according to your courses that you took.
True, exactly. So we weren't in classes together, but Sueann and I, we have known each other for such a long time. I won't tell you guys how long ago was high school, but we've known each other for such a long time, and we've kept in touch. We went our separate ways. We went to school. We went to university. And then we reconnected, I think, after. And then Sueann decided to take up herself and become an immigrant travel nurse while pursuing her studies as well. So here we are. I think life just comes full circle. And here we are once again. We've met up once again to discuss a very important topic. And I'm going to just say that the topic is, you're in your 30s. Why haven't you had a kid yet? Basically, that is the conversation. And that is some of the sentiments that we get all the time as, women in our 30s, career driven and otherwise. I'm really glad to have you on board, Sueann. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So happy to have you. So I want to kick off this conversation with something that I read, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of background information. I got this excerpt from Harvard Business Review, and the title of the excerpt of the article is Executive Woman and the Myth of Having It All by Sylvia Ann Hewitt. And the excerpt reads, in a survey that was conducted, I target the top 10% of women measured in terms of earning power and focus on two age groups. Now, the survey that was conducted is titled Creating a Life, Professional Woman and the Quest for Children. I include a sample of high potential women, highly qualified women who have left their careers mainly for family reasons. In addition, I include a small sample of men. No, the findings are startling and troubling. They make it clear that for women, the brutal demands of ambitious careers, the asymmetrics of male-female relationships, and the difficulties of bearing children late in life conspire to crowd out the possibility of having children. She laid out in this article that issues underlying the state of affairs, identity of having costs involved, and suggest some remedies, however preliminary and modest. When it comes to career and fatherhood, high-achieving men don't have to deal with difficult trade-offs. 79% of men surveyed want children and 75% of them have. The research shows that generally speaking, the more successful the man, the more likely he will find a spouse and become a father. The opposite, however, holds true for women, and the disparity is particularly striking among corporate ultra achievers. In fact, 49% of women are childless, but a mere 19% of their male colleagues are. These figures underscore the depth and scope of persisting, painful inequities between the sexes. Women face all of the challenges that men do in working long hours and withstanding the up and out pressures of high altitude careers, but they also face challenges of their own. Now, the article goes on to talk about slim pickings for partners. There's a time crunch that is placed on women to have kids, and an unforgiving decade called the 30s, in which we're supposed to do all these things, especially childbearing at this age. Now, Sue, I want to just start off the conversation with your opinion on just your general opinion on women having children in their 30s and the pressure that they receive from external sources like your family and your friends. What's your opinion on women having children or not having children in their 30s as yet?
Um, I think, to be honest, it's been taken for a joke for years. I think especially in my respect, I think people now know that my mouth is very, very light. And I've created some sort of a boundary as to what you can and cannot ask me about where children are concerned.
Right.
But it's still very much present in my circle, even as my other friends have found counterparts and have gotten married and have had children or just have had children.
Right.
I think when I hit 25, and I'm still to understand why 25, I've asked a lot of people and they're like 25 is like a marker as well. When I hit 25 and I was married, didn't have kids, and was in no relationship at all,
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, this is looking a little slim, you know? And I remember when I hit 28, that was when I left Jamaica. Right. And for me, I think I just threw my hands up and I was just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm going to enjoy Sueann, and single Sueann is going to have a ball.
Right.
And whatever the ball looks like for me, I'm going to get it done. So I left home, went to TCI, Turks and Caicos Islands, and then I moved to the US, and I've just been moving around the US since. I think after I hit 30, and even now at 33, where that I call my Jesus year, I think it's still a lot of people are sitting down waiting with bated breath. Yeah. Like, so when you're getting married, when you're having a child, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm really looking at the narrative that this brings out, because to be honest, after you get married, now you have to get used to being a wife. Mm-hmm. You have the pressure of, when are you going to have a child? Yeah. After you've had this first child, it is, you know, so one pitney and a pitney. Yeah, they need a sister or a brother. Can't just be a single kid, you know? And I'm just like, I guess when I hit 33, because even from 30 to 33, I was still feeling the pressure of just feeling as if I was never going to be regarded as a whole woman until I gave birth. Right. And I think it was after I finished my master's, and I was just like, I've gone to my friends' homes, and I've seen them with their kids. And don't get me wrong, I want to be a mother. Don't get me wrong. I want to be a mother. I want to be a wife, and I want to be a mother. Yeah. But I just don't think I should sit in a corner and wait for it to happen. Right. Or as some of my relatives would say, so you know, see anybody just walk out there? And I'm like,
Girl, can I tell you? Oh my God,
So you
that's
just want me to pick up the next man that walks?
right. Right?
And the thing is, Roxanne, it pains my heart because a lot of females are not at the level that I'm at
Yeah.
in terms of I don't care what you think.
Right.
I don't. I
Let
really don't.
let me put a pin right there. How did you get to that sort of contentment to say that's pressure that people are placing on you? You're not going to absorb it and apply pressure to yourself where you are going to force yourself now to try and find a spouse or to find someone. How did you get to that point of saying, you know what? I'm not going to allow anybody else's expectation of me be my barometer for when I should have a child or when I should be in a relationship or if I need to stop my career now in order to facilitate a family. How did you get to that emotional, mental sort of place?
I think for me, and I would encourage any 20 something year old, older 20 something year old into their 30s, was to move
Oh,
and to keep moving. From it and it's not avoidance, don't get me wrong, because I talk to my family every single day.
yeah.
My mother probably will be calling me on WhatsApp very soon because every single day I talk to my family,
Yeah.
but not physically being with them
Yeah.
has lightened the load for me
Nice.
because you don't have them constantly in your ear. So I can tell you, okay, conversation's done. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Yeah.
Rather than you're living in the house or you're living in the same parish or you're living in the same state and you are constantly hearing it like a buzzing in your ear.
Yeah.
I can turn the phone off. All right, mommy, I'll talk to you later. Have a great night. Bye. Phone off.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her the other day, and I'm definitely going to let her see this podcast because she knows this is her child. I was talking to her about the other day, and she was like, so when are you going to settle down? So she'll do a whole introduction, like what you just did, ask me how I'm doing, how is life going.
Yeah.
And then right before she knows I'm about to get to the point where I'm going to tell her bye, she goes, so.
Oh gosh.
And she tries to like ease it all the way in.
Yeah.
And then she knows I'm going to say, okay, all right, I got to go, bye. But I would encourage, I know it's fear why a lot of us don't leave.
Yeah.
I think for me, leaving made my mindset different because then I was able to see other women who are 33, single, and happy.
Right.
And not just happy because life told them that they had to be happy. Happy because they're genuinely living a life that they wanted.
Right.
And that for me has definitely been that was where the turning point was for me. When I left home, that was my turning point. Blocking out all those different sounds, able to turn the sounds off by hanging up the phone rather than having it constantly in your ear.
Right. Man, I can completely relate to that because I've had, I think from I was about 24, my aunt, I remember visiting her, and her question to me was, so Roxanne, you have a boyfriend yet? And then the question that follows is, so when you going to get married, you're not gonna have the
Boom.
kids? And I'm just like, I literally graduated from university a year ago. And you want me to have kids already? Like, I don't understand the progression. For me, my resolve has always been, first and foremost, the lifestyle I have, right, is uh, a privileged one because of how my parents had set everything up for us. For me, being able to go through school, being able to get the degrees, me being able to, you know, to travel, etc. Now I have a certain lifestyle that I've led, and honest to God, I really don't want my child to have a lesser lifestyle. I don't want to be financially incapable of taking care of my child or children, being a part of a family that it's similar or mirrors that which I have, which is a nuclear family. I have my mom, my dad, and I have a brother, I have a sibling. And for me to, my fear is that I don't even want to have kids outside of marriage. I have that sort of fear that, listen, that's not how you want to grow up or to grow kids. And I know that we're in the 21st century, and the thought
I'm right there
process
with
has
you.
changed and etc. But I guess those are the standards I've applied to myself, which I want to apply to my children. And I don't want to say, I'm just gonna have kids because I'm being pressured by a family member or family members to have kids. And then the conversation unfortunately still continued. 26, 28, 30,
Mm-hmm.
they're still asking me, why you not married? Like, what's happening in Jamaica? There's no man out there? Is there a man shortage? Roxanne, what's like, I don't understand the questions that comes with it. Maybe it is a cultural slash traditional point of view as to what women are supposed to do in their 20s or late 20s and 30s. And you're supposed to, quote unquote, um, conform to this ideology that our parents or even grandparents have had. And
It
it doesn't
is.
have to be. It honestly doesn't have to be. And I would tell you the truth that for a period of time I felt very I used to say to my mom, Mom, I don't know where my husband is. I don't know if he's coming. I don't know if God has that even in his plan for me. I was just focusing on that because of all the pressure. So then I absorbed the
Mhm.
pressure and say, okay, maybe it's supposed to be like this. But I came to a point um in life similar to you where I just said, I don't want to take this on. That's an added burden on
Mhm.
me to say that I need to follow this particular way of life or way of living. And, I still sometimes flip flop with it, but I don't like feeling pressured into you're supposed to have a child by now. You're 30 plus years old, your eggs are drying up, and nobody's going to like you. No, I don't want to. I don't want to apply that to my psyche at all.
And it's so funny. It is so funny that we see celebrities and I look at them and I'm like, you see celebrities having kids over 40,
Yeah,
getting married over 50,
yeah,
and anybody talking about them.
yeah.
Like,
It's
what's
not a
this?
big deal. Yeah,
Talk up off my womb.
right. I mean, Madonna is in her 60s and the woman just had a kid.
Like, come up off my womb. And as I said, Roxanne, I'm with you. I flip flop too, because as I said, most of my friends are now mothers,
They're either
and they're
married or they're
married,
moms. Yeah, yeah.
and they're building families. And here comes single Auntie Sue up in the house. I had my niece, because I have two nieces,
Yeah.
and I had my niece said, Auntie, you're living the best life ever.
Yes.
I'm like, why you say that? She's like, you travel everywhere. When I call you, you're always shopping. You live the best life ever. Just like, and for now, they are the ones that I'm doing this for.
Yeah.
So for them, if they get to 30 and their life looks like me,
Mm.
I want them to remember Auntie was living her best life.
Best life. That's right.
And every time she says it, like she calls me, she's 9, and she's one of the motivations for me moving around, because she gets so much pride in seeing my new apartment.
Yeah.
And she wants me to go outside and video the place so she can see, and it lights her up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if I can do that for her, where at 33 she sees me living my best life ever, then I've made a difference in growing another generation to not feel the pressure of you need to have a child.
Right.
Yeah. So I really do it for them. Sometimes I do get overwhelmed and I'm like, yeah, I need to get the husband, the ring, the finger. Another month and my eggs are being thrown away.
My
and
God.
I get it. I get it. Girl, the other day, let me give you a joke. The other day, I had to do something with my car, and I called one of my good girlfriends, and I was just like, bruh. And she's like, what? I'm like, where my husband? All this work I got to be doing. The car needed to go in service. I needed to take something off the car. And I'm like, can somebody find my husband? Because I don't want to be doing.
Yeah.
And she's like, she busted out laughing. She was like, Sueann, really? I'm like, sis.
Exactly.
I'm serious. But we had a hearty laugh about it. I got what I needed to get done and we were over it. But I was just like, sis, where my husband?
Right?
Why are you taking
me
care
with
of
this
car while I'm at home?
Yes.
Like
oh my God.
So I have the conversations, and I've made a joke to the same friend. I'm like, when my husband comes, you see all them fancy TikToks that are being made now, Roxann, we're gonna have to catch up. So he gonna have to do all the TikToks, all the couple TikToks that I've saved in.
So you saved it too? I've saved those. Listen, couple TikTok things have to happen.
He better love the camera, because even if he doesn't, I'm gonna be like, listen, you should have come when I was 28. Right. You here now. You mine. So let's get to TikToking. Let's get to Instagramming. So we gonna look cute on the gram. Yeah.
That's right.
We gonna look cute on the gram. Okay. You know how long I've been waiting on you? But I don't want to be in front of the camera. No.
They could see your face right now. Oh my God. It's so
I think listen, all the cute couples Instagrams and TikToks, he gonna have to make up.
Yeah, we're gonna learn the dances, we're gonna do the coordinated outfits, we're gonna do it all. Everything. Even when he doesn't want
but until then, I'm gonna be doing the single ones, so that when he comes in, you see that transition.
There you go. There you go. I see the plan. So with that being said, let me transition into this topic of asking, do you think, or has your career, religion, financial situation, or relationships impacted your decision to not have children at this time?
So let me go one-on-one. So relationships. I'm gonna get I'm trying not to get super emotional. Okay. I did a post on my Instagram on Father's Day.
Yeah.
And I'm just really reconnecting with my father now.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he was in the house, but in terms of that daddy-daughter thing,
yeah,
we never had that.
Yeah.
And so for me, in terms of relationships, that's a red flag that I'm looking out for. Before it was, I didn't want a man like my father. Now it's just, if I get a man like my dad, I want him to be healed from whatever situations my dad had.
Yeah.
that made him not connect to me as his child.
Right.
And we're working on it because, you
Yeah.
know, older people, talking through their emotions is not something that they do. And I'm still unpacking it for us.
True.
But I've decided that I'm going to fight for me and mine,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. And so my dad is still alive. And so as far as I can push to get into his head, I'll try. Just to ensure that there's some amount of healing before I bring a child into the world.
Yeah.
So relationship wise, that's it for me. Financial wise, I don't think you can ever be fully prepared financially for a child. As prices go up for everything,
all the time.
especially here in the US,
Yeah.
things aren't always cheap or cheaper. I don't use that as a standard to decide if I want to have a baby, yes or no.
Yeah.
You said relationship, money, what career?
Career.
So I was asked this conversation with being a travel nurse and how that would look for starting a family. And I think it's just another way to say, stop living your best life stop living your best life so that you can live this other life.
Yeah.
I think the person not fully knowing what travel nursing was about was basically attacking the fact that I'm moving around as not having something, stability for a home and a husband and a child.
Right.
And I look at it as I've met several travel nurses who are very happily married, who are very happily pregnant. And so, again, I'll say to society, you will not dictate to me what my life or my womb will look like.
Yeah.
While I'm trying to navigate through this life that I'm trying to live.
Right.
So that's career. What was the other one?
Religion.
So for me, I'm like you. I came from a nuclear family. And even with all this new thing now, someone I had a conversation with, and I did do a post on Instagram about that as well, said to me that if I hit 35, I'm at the red light. So I got 2 more years before I can just forget about kids. So for my mama's sake, I hope I find Mr. Right and pop a baby before 35. Yeah. But yeah, the person's conversation, and she so casually said it to me. And I looked at her and I was like, do I go and be Sueann? Or do I be nice? I was nice. But what I wanted to say was, and I'm gonna be nice. But nuclear for me is important.
Yeah.
It's sad, but children need their father.
Yeah.
They need a father figure. And for me, because I know what it was like not having, even though my father was in the household, not having him hug me and tell me he loves me and kiss me and all, I know what it has done to me emotionally. I have to provide that. I will not allow that to not be provided for my child.
Yeah.
And that's where my religion comes in. I will have somebody who is equally yoked to me, who believes in the same, we're going to do this with God as the head of the household.
Yeah.
And then everything comes under God. So if the pitney get trouble, we're going to pray. If we're going to have an argument, we're going to pray. It's going to be a standard in my household.
Right.
So that's where religion comes in for me. That was it?
Yeah, those 4: career, religion, finances, and
so that's what it kind of looks like for me, in terms of life, love, relationship, kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, even just thinking about it sometimes, like the same girlfriend, because she's single too, so we have these conversations all the time.
Right.
And when I work, because I do night shift, and so when I come home, sometimes I sleep all day.
Mm.
And I remember one time I woke up and I was like, if I had a baby, I'd have to get up.
Yeah.
And it's going to need something to eat. And
Yeah.
I'm going to have to change it
Yeah.
and play with it.
Yes.
Like, worse if dad is a 9-to-5er and then I'm a 7-to-7er. Like,
Yeah.
who's
How
going
do
to
you
look
find
after
time?
it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very true.
She thinks it's hella funny when I talk these things, but I'm like, no, put things into perspective, Roxann. Like,
It's true. It's true.
and even when you get married, like, even though I'm a millennial and I don't believe in gender roles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make this man breakfast. That means I have to get up early, y'all.
Right? You gotta have to get up early to make this man breakfast, get the kids' stuff ready, get your stuff ready, make sure
Yes.
that everybody's on the schedule. If you have a schedule, the cleaning, the cooking, listen. I've thought about
Listen,
it.
sometimes when I talk to my friend, I say to her, listen, it's hard taking care of me. And then God wants to give me a little person to take care of. That's why he's taking so long. Because he knows. He knows Roxann. He's like, yo, Sueann gonna be sleeping beside this baby.
Y'all better.
I had a friend of mine call me once, and she works night shift too. And she called me. She has a baby.
Yeah.
And she called me at 1:00 in the afternoon because I was off.
Mm.
And I was sleeping, and she goes, "You still asleep?" "Yes." "You're not?" "No, the baby woke me up at 6. Well, I'll call you back when I'm awake.
Oh my God. Everything changes. I don't know if people, well, I don't know if persons have ever thought about it, but once you have a child, things change. Your
It
priorities
does.
change, your life changes, everything changes. And now you
It
have
does.
to accommodate the change. You have to accommodate the new baby, the husband, the boyfriend, whatever it is. You have to accommodate everything, and then you just see how best both of you can try and make this new life work, you know,
Yeah.
and you split your responsibilities, etc. What do you think are the pros of your current lifestyle without kids, etc., versus how do you think you will adapt to that lifestyle whenever that will happen?
So I've started journaling a lot.
Mhm.
And it's funny that you would ask these questions because these questions come up in my head a lot. And I'm hoping that I don't lose this journal. But I write them down. I write these things down. The thing about it is that the same way me and my 30-something-year-old self doesn't have everything figured out, I believe that when the kid comes, I still won't have everything figured out. Everything's not gonna just fall into place.
True.
And I believe the same way I work hard now to keep a schedule and to keep, a timeline, somewhat of a timeline on what my life looks like. I think it's going to be the same way for me when the baby comes.
Right.
It's a matter of just trying to tweak how single life looks now to include this little person and, the husband, and just kind of like tweaking it. But then to still not forget Sueann and who she is and who she was in the moment that she was single.
Right. Yeah, that's actually an interesting perspective, I never really thought of it in that way, where you know, as things happen, I think how I was, especially when I was younger, I used to want to follow a particular plan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hoping to have been married by say 28 and had my first child by 30, by 30 31. And I wrote these things down and I was saying like this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. And then look at life. Life is like, I don't follow your schedule, I follow God's schedule. And God said that you ain't supposed to have a husband right now and you're not supposed to have a kid right now. So what you need to
Right?
do is to focus on yourself. And when that phase of your life comes to fruition, then you will adjust accordingly. So
Mm-hmm.
I resolve that that is what's going to happen. So it's very interesting that you have said what you said just now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so I think we have explored such an interesting topic. I think this is a topic that a lot of women have on their minds. I mean, we probably have, say 50% of our peers or friends that are married and are leading a particular life, but then you have the other half who are, pondering, this is my life currently. I am without child. These are the pressures that I get from external forces, external persons. How do I deal with this emotionally, mentally,
I
and
just want to take all of us on a trip.
right?
I think
We should.
I think and I'm a huge advocate. Huge advocate. Let me put that out there. If for whatever reason at 30 and over
Mhm.
you're feeling as if you are behind in life and everything's just not going your way, you're probably
Yeah,
not in a job that you love, travel.
travel.
A week, 2 weeks. And everybody is not like me, as I said to people, and then everybody won't be able to just be like whatever and be out. But for me, Roxanne, that has been like, when I'm depressed, honey, I'm gonna book me a flight. I'm going to book me a flight to somewhere
Yeah,
because it's a matter of getting out of the space that's making me depressed
true.
and moving my way to something else. So when I was in Jamaica, I used to do it. I used to drive to the country.
Yeah,
If I was depressed, I grab a friend. You guys can go. No, okay, I'm going by myself. Bye.
yeah.
Ochi, Negril. So, and where are you? I'm in Ochi at the beach by yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
But you're able to clear your head. You get
Mm,
out of the space that's making you depressed. You get out of the company that's making you feel depressed,
yeah,
and you reset. I call it a battery pull or a hard reset.
yeah,
And I've done that several times. Even now, being 33, I recognize when my body is like, come on, we need to move. Where we going? We need to drive somewhere. We need to, and I'm up. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm gonna Google it
yeah.
and I'm out. Yeah, that's for me. And for other people, it might be to buy you something nice, or
Mm,
it might be to, go to church, or you have to find what
an outlet.
resets you.
Mm,
Yes, because life will make you crazy. It will, and it
facts.
can. And I just feel like we all need to find that outlet that just gives us that curveball
Yeah,
to be like, okay, come on back, Sueann. You did your battery pull, let's go back on the grind, get to what you need to get done, finish this masters, or let's do whatever we need to get done.
yeah,
But it's just a matter of finding what your outlet is. For
true.
me, one of my outlets too is the gym.
Yeah,
I say to people, I'm the strongest and the most clear-headed when I lift a weight.
yeah.
And that's something I started doing 2 years ago. And I go in the gym, pop my headphones in, and I'm doing my routines. And I'm getting stuff done. And I come out and I feel refreshed.
Right.
Boom, let's start the day. So it's just a matter of finding what is that one thing. You know, you maybe can't do everything that I do. Maybe it's buying yourself a slice of cake. Maybe
Yeah.
it's going to Starbucks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that one thing that resets you
True.
back into, come on, Sueann, let's get this done. Because life continues. Life is moving.
Yeah.
And I think it's moving too much for us to just be lying in bed crying over what we can't control.
Control. Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
just how I look at it.
That's a word, Suan. Like, I resonate with everything that you've just said. I mean, and I think it's a good segue for us to kind of wrap up this segment,
Right.
because as you've mentioned in your discussion or in our discussion, first of all, setting boundaries, setting standards for those who try to impose their own set of standards. We have to
Right.
set our own standards for ourselves and for everybody else so that they understand this is how I choose to live my life. And, I thank you so much for your opinion, but it's not necessarily going to be applied. Thank you so
Right.
much. Secondly, we need to try and get emotional contentment, being content with how our life is. It's the being
Mm-hmm.
content and not comparing ourselves to other persons and how their life path has set out, but being
Right.
comfortable and content with ourselves and where we are. Learn where we are, try to grow in the space and in the moment and in the time that we are. And the third thing, which you just said a while ago, is sometimes we need to give ourselves a break. Sometimes we
Mhm.
apply too much pressure on
Yes.
ourselves, and we need to just take ourselves out, go to Starbucks, go jump off a cliff into a river. We need to just, take a vacation to Las Vegas. We need to go to church. Whatever we need to do to get that
Mhm.
hard reset or that battery pull, we need to do that so that we can just be content with who we are, where we are right now in life. I'm going to
Mhm.
give you the final words. What do you want to say, Suan, as we close out this very first episode that you've made so epic?
Let me just say, Roxanne, congratulations.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Mom.
having me.
Of course.
Um, and if I could say anything to your listeners,
Mm.
um, and this is for my over 30 something females. And I know you're gonna have other listeners, and hats off to y'all, but this is for us. I'm gonna love on you guys for a little bit. You're enough.
Mm.
You are a queen. You are a boss. You are succeeding at life. The mere fact that you get up every day, deal with PMS, go out and deal with corporate issues,
Mm.
walk around on the street having to be belittled by what you wear, how you look, if you decide to wear your hair natural, if you decide to put a weave in, honey, you are great. And I want you to take a deep breath and understand that you're doing the best that you can do for you.
Absolutely.
And being over 30 something has nothing to do with where life starts or where life ends.
Oh my God.
Enjoy it for what it is
Hmm.
and be you. Be your own type of beautiful.
Oh my God, guys. Did you hear that from Suma? Where's my Google Zilla and my pot cover? Like, honestly, where is where is it? Because I
Some
don't
snaps for the people in
understand.
the back.
Listen, I don't understand how I'm not seeing your name against the Les Browns of this world. What's happening? Suan, oh my God.
Listen,
You left a word in my heart. You left a word in my mind, and it's resonating with me, and I'm so appreciative that you took the time to be a part of this podcast, be a part of this very honest, very transparent conversation. I think it's one that will benefit our listeners, but more specifically, us women over our 30s. Sometimes we need
Yeah.
to hear it from somebody else for us to really see that, oh, somebody's going through that too. It's not me alone. I'm not
Yep.
the only one, and I need to stand in my greatness and my purpose. So, I just want to thank you so much for reminding us of who we are, our worth. We're enough as we are, not absorb the pressure. Thank you so much, Sueann. Ladies
Thank
and
you for
gents,
having me, Roxy.
I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna leave. I don't know if Sueann is okay with this, but I'm gonna leave her social handle in the description. You guys need to go and follow, get some gems from this one. And
Thank you.
and I'm hoping to have you on for another even more episodes. We're gonna mix up the topics. We're gonna
Hit
talk
me up,
about
girl. Just let me know.
I
You
will.
know, I might just be doing this from Dubai or
Hey,
Italy,
hey,
but we'll
hey,
get the time zone going.
hey, listen to that. Oh God. Yes, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Sueann Brown. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty.
Bye.